Well then, I knew this day would come eventually. Took me long enough, eh? Anyways, welcome everyone. I'm Cataclysmic Armageddon, and I still don't care about your feelings. Especially not you. Since this video is going to be way too long in full, it's been cut up into 2 parts, because I see this as being a long one, and no one wants to deal with a long one for more than 30 minutes. So, without further ado, it's time to show the bosses who've become my personal favourites, and just to be fair, it's going to be 1 boss per mod. Will Calamity be on here? Well, I guess anything's possible. Number 15 goes to Celestial Cluster from Spirits of the Forgotten. What? You've never heard of or seen this boss? Well, I can't say I blame you. It's been nearly 2 years since I posted that video on it, so allow me to refresh your memory. Celestial Cluster is a hard mode boss with a really unique mechanic, which leaves this boss with not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 different AIs built into it. What do I mean by that? Well, this boss's AI alters depending on your class. Melee stays close and moves slowly, giving the player a chance to get close and hit it. Ranger moves really fast and teleports around due to ranged weapons normally being very fast. Mage is a combination of melee and ranger, whose attacks mostly cover the whole screen. Summoner moves a bit slower and gives minions a chance to hit it. And Classless, where it will do all available attacks. Plus, in Phase 2, it combines different classes together to fight you. It's just such a clever boss that it's always held a place in my memory, which has earned it a rightful place on this list. Number 14 goes to
Toyosa no Mimi no Miko.
Yes, thank you.
From Gensokyo. Ah yes, Gensokyo. I might not like Toho much since I don't have the reaction time to dodge raindrops, but this mod was a pretty fun time, but none of its bosses stuck out quite like Miko. All of her attacks being pretty compact, leaving little room to move, which you'd expect. But out of all the bosses in Gensokyo, this one was by far the best one. To be honest, the only thing hurting this boss and all the other bosses of the mod is their movements. All being the same, but who knows what the future holds, as the devs have mentioned that they want to change that. Number 13 goes to Sattler001 from AFK Pets.
Target locked.
Ever wants to fight a boss who begins with a quiz? Well, here you go. Right at the start of the fight, you're given a quiz. Get the answers wrong, and it shoots you. Get them right, and it won't. Get all the questions correct, you'll get an unobtainable item that shows you the sun and moon location while underground. This boss wasn't anything special till I started giving SirAFK a hard time, but damn did he show me! This is a boss design I can always respect, as its progression placement wouldn't expect an easy pre-hard mode fight, but instead you get a long fight with 3 phases, tons of attacks that just keep on coming with little delay, a pretty good screen locked phase, and a fairly hard difficulty. Out of all the bosses so far, this one stuck out to me. What I love about AFK Pets is it throws bosses with a damn good challenge at you, so they've earned my respect. Number 12 goes to Alden from Ultranium. The secret boss hidden in Ultranium. Hidden so well that not even cheat sheet can save you. It was a case of do it legit or don't do it at all. The quest was to collect some mushrooms hidden throughout the game, which unlock the final boss for the end game. And damn what a reward it is! A hard battle to end the playthrough once and for all. The boss itself is massive, but dealing no contact damage to make it fair. But the spam of attacks from tiny to gigantic stars flooding your screen, with the need for fast reactions and knowledge of the battle's progression, multiple attacks and phases, plus Undertale sound effects, make this boss fantastic. It's just a shame that Ultranium was discontinued before it got a chance to be seen more, but hopefully this will encourage you to go on your own mushroom quest and fight it for yourself. I hear there's a video all about the mushroom quest with terrible voice acting. I wonder who that could have been. Number 11 goes to Infected Incarnate from Terraborn. One of the more recently made bosses for this list, Infected Incarnate is a pre-Eye of Cthulhu boss, who, like AFK Pets, doesn't care about progression difficulty. This boss wants you dead and to stay dead, with its unique mechanic of player-boss teleportation and blackout. After every attack, Infected Incarnate will teleport itself and the player around the arena, along with a blackout leaving you totally unaware of where you are or what's about to happen. Then the blackout instantly vanishes, leaving you barely a fraction of a second to react. Now, this isn't hard in the early stages of the battle, but as its HP decreases, its speed increases significantly, leaving your palms sweaty, your knees weak and your arms heavy. In a no-hit setting, this boss is insanely stressful, and a damn good challenge to boot. It really excites me for the future of Terraborn. Number 10 goes to Empress of Light, Fargo Soul Eternity Edition. Empress of Light? Why Eternity instead of Radiance mod? Well, reason being I've yet to beat that monstrosity since I keep dying to the damn vacuum death ray attack. Damn skill issue cropping its ugly head up again. So why specifically Eternity mode? Reason is, with vanilla you can just run like a bat out of hell and make pretty much all of his attacks useless, whereas Eternity mode fixes that problem and also adds to it. Plus it alters vanilla Empress of Light just enough to feel like a new fight, instead of a repeat, which is always a good thing, adding a fresh coat of paint to an already adored boss. The best part is that there's multiple versions, being Eternity, Masochist, Day and Night, with Masochist Daytime being the hardest and Empress Nighttime being the easiest. Eternity Empress of Light adds to pre-existing attacks and adds some of its own. Its dash now releases those homing things or her sword projectiles. Her sun dance is huge, later becoming tiny, but also adding a large area around it of her swords, so you better stay close. A 50-50 arena filled with swords to navigate around. A circling sword attack, plus an improved version of Vanilla's sword boxes. This fight was already fast and required a ton of movement, which I adore in boss fights, but Fargo's added just the correct balance of stuff to make me think that this is what Empress should have been in Vanilla. But if that was the case, what would Eternity look like then? Number 9 goes to Nebulous, Angel of the Cosmos, from Modern Redemption. Nebulous was already a fantastic fight. Then the beta release came out, giving her tons of new tricks and a new sprite. Originally this boss warned you of what attack was coming, but after the beta this was removed to instead rely on player reaction time, making her fight way more intense and even more rewarding to beat. Since I'm only talking about new Nebulous here and not old, here's what new Nebi can do that puts it here. The previously mentioned attack warnings are now gone, which was a good move because now you're expected to pay attention to her instead of some text. She teleports around like a maniac, showering you with attacks, most of which are randomly picked. It's just non-stop chaos where the only times you get to rest is while Nebi has her chains out. But don't touch them, or you'll be yeeted. She dashes with stars, dashes without stars, becomes a Kirby boss. She has stars that spin, stars that fall, stars in a box, stars in a circle, stars that explode and stars with lasers. With the large array of attacks, all well crafted, giving players plenty of time to react, plus the beautiful visuals and a good soundtrack really makes for a fun fight to end the mod. I just can't wait for Modern Redemption to be released on 1.4 so I can start a new series with all this new stuff. And our final boss is number 8, which goes to Supreme Pinky from SGA mod. Bet you thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? When it came to the SGA mod, 3 bosses stuck out, which were Queen Spider, Supreme Pinky and Hellion. But in this case the award was given to Pinky. Pinky is a 2-part boss which likely has the greatest fake out of all time. The first part of the boss is a small collection of Pinkies summoning slime minions, scythes, Martian rockets, which are the most deadly projectile an enemy can have since their homing ability is insane, and a forced arena that can also attack. With this boss being so small, you'd think homing is a good idea, but all those minions keep stealing your attack's attention, meaning you gotta aim manually. Laura. Then you defeat her thinking, nice, I beat it, time to get my reward. Then you open the bag and suddenly, she's back. Bigger and better with a ton more minions to make homing impossible and hitting her difficult. Well, unless you have the last prism, that is. As this fight progresses, Pinky summons more and more slimes around itself as a barrier, making her size rival that of Leviathan. Even her charges are deadly if you don't deal with her barrier fast enough, as something that huge charging is a painful time indeed. Her speed is crazy and she has plenty of attacks, making you move around fast while also having memory telegraphs, making you need to remember where the attacks are coming from before they happen. Then, she turns into a singularity, sucking more slimes from outside the forced arena into herself, making another projectile for you to avoid, while adding to a barrier, while you two are being sucked in, as well as the forced arena shrinking. It's a really good boss in a mod that doesn't get the attention that it truly deserves. Also, if you're struggling, you can use the Royal Gel accessory, becoming totally immune to all of her slime minions. You know.
Lovely.
Well, that's all for part 1. See you next time for part 2. A big thanks to Ash from Genesis and Chaos for assisting me with this video so far. A little help truly does go a long way.